I want you to know that you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are talented, you are trying, and everything that you want is slowly coming together. We need to remember this because these insecurities can easily make us forget. Okay. Welcome to the Save the Good Girl podcast, everybody. I am your host, Erica E. And for those who don't know me, that is okay. Welcome to your first luxury listening experience. Now, here's the thing. I want you to stay connected. I want you to get luxury 24/7. So here's what you got to do. Go to savethegoodgirl.com, enter your email address, and you're going to get really beautifully crafted newsletters specifically made by me. And we got to be social. So in addition to this wonderful audio, I do provide beautiful visuals as well on Instagram, on Facebook, on Pinterest, and on Threads. So be sure to follow Save the Good Girl on all of those platforms so that the luxury can be heard and be seen. You like that? I like it. I like that. So y'all, we are going to discuss something that we all experience, we all go through, some at higher levels than others. But we're going to talk about insecurities because I have been recognizing more and more how people will make decisions based off of insecurities and it never fulfills true happiness. It's very artificially based. And I'm like, no, we need to talk about this because I want to share my experiences and my hope is that it will inspire you as well. So let's get into it because there's a couple of things that I really want to say in regards to this and how it can really affect our lives. So let's get into this episode. Before we start, we are going to actually begin with the exquisite experience. So, I shared with you guys last week, if you guys haven't heard last week's episode, that I started a lifestyle page called Exquisitely Erica. And normally, before I get into the show, I always share with you guys like a candle or what I'm doing or how my week was. And then I get into the topic and I'm like, why not incorporate that with the exquisite experience? Because I have Exquisitely Erica. So it makes sense because I love talking about what I'm wearing and the body butters and all of that. So before I start my shows on the full episodes, you guys will get the exquisite experience as well. And of course, to see more, please ensure you follow Exquisitely Erica on Instagram. I am working on TikTok and some other things for Exquisitely Erica. So if you love perfume, if you love restaurant reviews, if you love home decor, if you love travel, if you love skincare, if you love all of those things, you are really going to love Exquisitely Erica. So please be sure to check that out on Instagram. So, y'all, today I am lighting a pumpkin coconut candle that smells divine. Okay. This candle is from Scentsational. I got it from TJ Maxx and I was looking for this candle. So my friends and I were looking for this candle 2 years ago. My friend literally wrote an email to the brand to ask them about this candle. It just smells so good. And it's something that you don't need to use it during the fall. You can light this any time of the year. It's so soft. It's so light. It smells amazing. I took a really great shower this morning and the theme today is rose. So the body butter that I'm using right now is a pink rose and goat milk. And I love this body butter. It's from this company called Soroa and it just smells amazing. And then I paired it with KKW Crystal Rose. So for those of you who may or may not know, Kim Kardashian came out with the KKW brand and she had a crystal collection. And y'all, I'm not going to lie, I love the crystal collection. It smells really good. And one of them was called Crystal Rose. So to be honest with you, I'm not a big rose fanatic, but I feel like I don't know. My scent palette has been changing because I'm not really a rose person. I'm not really a lemon scented person, but lately I've been liking that a lot. But this particular rose fragrance, it does smell a little different. It doesn't smell like a bouquet of flowers, but you just smell really fresh. It has pink pepper, bitter orange, Italian lemon, geranium, rose hip, amber, which I really do like amber and tonka beans. So that just smells really great. So I feel good. I made a cold brew from Trader Joe's. They have like a cold brew ready to make coffee with my Chobani sweet cream creamer. Just amazing. I made a really great avocado toast this morning. So I feel really prepared to talk to you. I feel good physically. I'm cleaning, I'm doing all of those things. And then a few days ago, I spent some time with friends. Like I went to New Jersey. I live in New York. So I went to New Jersey. I had a whole day with friends because I realized two of my friends who don't know each other, they live like 7 minutes away. And I'm like, listen, if I'm paying for toll, I'm gonna see all of y'all in one day. Okay. So I was able to spend time with four different people. It's so crazy how that worked out, but it was a full day and it was so good. It was so good to catch up. It's so good to be around my friends and talk and laugh and have really great enriching conversations. And I love quality time. It's just something that you can't really pay for it. You know what I mean? Like it felt great. It felt great. The boundaries are set, so I'm not going to put myself in an environment that I don't want to be in. So everything that I'm doing now is so intentional because I wanted to be there, and because of intentionality, I was able to see everybody. It worked out, thank God. He agreed with what I wanted to do, and I had a great time. For the first time, and I love truffle, I had a truffle guacamole. Truffle guacamole, y'all, with corn. And I don't really like corn. But that guacamole, I don't know what restaurant this was in New Jersey, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And then I saw my friend, and she is an influencer. She goes to a lot of different events. So on my way home, I was passing her house anyway. So I hit her up, like, hey, girl, I could stop by and say hi. And she was like, oh, I have some things for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she gave me like a coffee creamer because she went to a coffee event. She gave me this chocolate, y'all. It's from Tony's Chocolony, I think it's called Chocolony. Y'all, this caramel sea salt milk chocolate bar literally has to be the best chocolate bar I've ever had. It's so good. I was like, girl, do you have more? She does. So I'm going to have one, but I probably will order more. It is decadent. It's just amazing. So that was my exquisite moment. Just wanted to share that with you guys. And every episode that I have, I'll just share something quick with y'all because I do love lifestyle. As you can see, I'm very excited when I talk about it. And that's why I decided to create another page for it to really focus on that in addition to Save the Good Girl. So here's the thing about insecurity. My my cousin was sharing with me that she was going to the Alabama homecoming. And I was like, wow. And I just thought to myself that I had the opportunity to go to many homecomings and I didn't go because of my insecurity. And I started thinking about the importance of correcting deep insecurity, and having deep insecurities will drive your decisions with your career, your friendships, your romantic life, your traveling, going out, and just dealing with yourself. And the truth is, majority of people have insecurities, and that's normal. That's okay. We all have something that could be bigger, smaller, taller, da da da. Our face, our this, our that. There's always something, right? We all go through it. It's fine. However, deep insecurities is where I find there to be a really, really big problem because people who are deeply insecure, in my opinion, are very dangerous people. Okay. They're very dangerous because they will do whatever it takes to feed that insecurity. It doesn't matter who they hurt, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. They start to create a high level of narcissism. And I know there's an argument in regards to that everybody has a level of narcissism within them, but people who are deeply insecure, that's a different level of narcissism because you're going to do whatever you can to make sure you feel good because you don't feel good. You're not happy with yourself and you're looking for people to bring happiness to you externally, hoping it can fill you internally, and it never does. And it never does. So there was a time where I stopped myself from having really great experiences due to my insecurities. I would overthink. And when you overthink, you build high anxiety. And because I perceived myself in the worst way possible. It doesn't matter what anybody said. I just didn't see what they saw, but they also didn't see what I saw or what I was feeling. And I've always been a plus size girl. I've always been a plus size girl. And at that time, during like college and everything, there was not really any fashion forward plus size clothing or swimsuits or anything like that. It was like your typical flowers and fruits. It's like, what is this? Right. And because I've always been into fashion, I've always been to putting looks together. I didn't like the way these swimsuits looked. I didn't care for it. I was just like, this is not for me. So when my friends would go to like Miami, Vegas, where else is popular? Miami, Vegas, oh, Mexico, right? All these trips that people would normally take during college, go to Cancun. I had a lot of friends. I was invited every single time and I never went because of my insecurities. I missed out on so much because of that. And it was hard because no one I don't think if anybody who really knows me from like elementary school, high school, college, when I would tell people I was insecure, it was a shock because I have a very big, exuberant personality. So it's like, you? It's like, yeah. They're like, what? So I definitely made decisions that probably weren't the best because of my insecurities. I've dealt with things that I shouldn't have dealt with romantically because of my insecurities. So all my friends would be traveling and doing all these wonderful things, and I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to. There were no fun bikinis out there. I didn't want to look like everybody else, but I didn't know what to do, and I'm just like, so I lied to friends. I lied to friends because I didn't want to be seen. I lied to them. And we have a tendency to hide. Have you ever felt like that before, not wanting to be seen because of your insecurity or how you feel or how you look? We have a tendency to do that. And there was a point where I was just lying for everything. And it's like we all went to college, and I would be like, oh, I can't because I have a big exam. And they're like, Erica, it's spring break. I'm like, oh, but I'm in a special program. Like it was just always a lie after a lie after a lie after a lie. Okay. And I definitely did lie until the lie just couldn't keep up anymore. And I got to a place where I'm like, uh, yeah, I'm kind of busted, right? Because now we had this big trip we were planning, and this was the trip. This trip is the trip that really it set me on a wonderful trajectory to make peace with my insecurity and actually put myself out there the way that I've always wanted. This particular trip, we're going to talk about it. So, Memorial Day weekend is kind of like the start of summer for us. And this is where a lot of college students will travel. This is where the Cancuns and the Puerto Ricos and Vegas and all these other destinations are really like high end because that's where you want to be, right? So in this particular trip, we were going to Puerto Rico. And at this point, I think my friends were up to my bullshit and they were tired of it. And I couldn't give any excuse because we were literally done with school. Two of my friends, we work together. So they're like, what is the excuse? And I'm like, oh, I don't have money. They're like, okay, we got you. Like, I just tried my best to to lie. And I think at this point it wasn't working. So finally, my friends were like, Erica, no, get your passport. Like, I just tried everything I possibly could to not go on this trip. It didn't work. So finally, I decided, okay, you know what? I'll go. I'll go on this trip. And this is a big trip. I'm talking about over 30 people I knew were going. And my friends were like, no, because I was running out of excuses. They're like, no, you're going on this trip. So I remember at the time there was a plus size designer called Monif C. And she was the first person that created swimsuits that was actually fashionable. However, they were very expensive. So I went to the city. They had a whole like experience there. You could try it on. Da-da. And I remember I was looking at the bikini and I kept looking at it. And the person who worked there was like, put on the bikini. And I was like, no, I'm not putting this on. They're like, put it on. And I put on the bikini after like 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie because I was trying everything else but that. And I loved it. I loved it. It was a leopard bikini, it was a black bikini. I loved it. I felt very good. I felt very fierce and I was validated there, because I was around people who I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel anything. And the truth is like my friends never made me feel that way. It was definitely a me thing. But I don't know, it just felt different being in that environment, feeling safe, feeling good, feeling wonderful. So during that time, y'all, I bought three swimsuits for almost $600. I know that's OD, but at the time, there was nothing else out there like it. So for me, it was an investment. Until this day, I don't mind it because it really opened up so much more for me. So I got the swimsuits, okay, and I was excited. I purchased the swimsuits and I did purchase the bikini. So here's the thing about the bikini. We get to Puerto Rico, and my anxiety, I was scared for everything. Like, oh my God, the plane. Oh my God, when I get there. Oh my God, my this, my that. Like just everything was a problem. And when I got there, everything was good. We were having fun. And I looked cute and I had my outfits together. Cause one thing I'm not gonna do is look crazy. No. So I look cute. So now we have this big pool party. Okay. And at this point, we didn't go in the pool yet. We didn't put swimsuits on yet. Nothing, right? This was the first time that I'm gonna put a swimsuit. The first time I'm going out. The first time I'm doing anything. So we have this big pool party coming up, and I'm a little anxious. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I even with the one pieces, I didn't want to wear those either. I just didn't want to go to the pool, but I love the pool. I love the water, and I'm just like, I don't know. So I remember my friends and I having a very deep conversation, and I was telling them that the reason why I didn't go to trips with y'all is because I was lying, and I don't know what made me just become honest with them, but I was telling them like I had my insecurities. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I felt, and I just didn't want to be a part of this trip. I didn't want to go. And they were very understanding, and I felt like they knew, right? Because there was like, yeah, we kind of, they kind of figured it out a bit. I think some people might have been a little surprised. So here we are. I felt free though. I felt really good sharing that with them because none of their reactions is what I thought it was going to be. Because I think with insecurities, we literally create stories and scenarios in our minds that somebody's looking at us and somebody's like, oh my God, they're noticing my left eyebrow. Like nobody even cares, yo. That's what I've learned. No one cares. Do you? Because nobody cares, right? So, anyways, now it's time to go to this pool party. I'm feeling good. I'm having a wonderful time with my friends. We're having so much fun. Now it's time to go to the pool party. And I said to myself, I want to put on the two piece. Not the one piece, y'all, the two piece, because I have a very go hardish kind of personality. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it all the way, right? And I'm very dramatic and very extra with it. So I I remember I put the swimsuit on and I was the last one to get ready because I didn't want anyone to see me because I wasn't sure if I was gonna go or not. I ain't gonna lie. So I remember me and my friend, we were there together. All of my friends was in a pool party having a good time, drinking, da da da, right? I'm in the bathroom and I'm crying because I don't want to get out the bathroom. I felt like I did all this work to get this swimsuit, pay all this money. I feel so good. And now it's like, oh, shoot, I really got to go outside. I really got to go outside. I really have to wear this. And I didn't want to. So my friend was still there with me because she was waiting for me so we could go down together. And I said to her, I'm not wearing this. And she's like, no, you are. I don't care. I'm not leaving unless you put this on. I'm not gonna go to that. And I'm like, I'm not going. Like I was just like, I'm not going. She's like, well, I'm not going either. And I'm just like, okay, I guess we're gonna stay in the damn hotel room. Um, so I remember crying. I remember shaking. I remember stuttering. I remember just a whole full body experience, right? I just didn't want to go. And then I was like, okay, okay, you could do this. You could do this, right? So I remember, yeah, I'm going downstairs. It was so like hard for me. Like the elevator, my heart is beating. We go downstairs, the elevator door opens, my heart is beating. I'm walking and I see people at the pool party. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like shaking, I'm sweating, I'm nervous, I'm tearing up. I have these big ass shades with these big earrings. So it's like, oh, okay, you don't want to get noticed. Like, look at what you're wearing. So my friend opened the door and I'm just like hesitating and I'm just like, okay, all right, okay, So I open the door, I go outside, and nothing happened. Quite the contrary. You know what did happen? People were commending me because at this time, plus size girls wearing two pieces wasn't really common. And here I am, the only one wearing a two piece because there were other plus size girls there. The only one wearing a two piece. And not only did I wear a two piece, I wore a leopard two piece. Y'all need to understand how dramatic this is. Do you see how scared I was? But yet I wore a leopard two piece, these big gold earrings, these big shades for someone who did not want to be seen. And that's because that's because the internal fashionista within me just was like, oh my God, I don't want to go outside. But if I do, I have to look fabulous, right? So nobody cared, y'all. Nobody cared. And there were other people who were like slim and skinny, and they're like, I can't even wear a two piece. And I'm like, why? So then it just kind of fired something up within me. It just, till this day, I still wear two pieces. Like it doesn't bother me anymore. But it's like I wouldn't have been able to know that or do that had I not fight the insecurity and also get support from it. I'm not gonna lie, because my friend, if she didn't support me during that time, I don't know if I would have went outside, to the pool party. And that's the thing. Oh my God, just me telling you the story. Not only did I wear a leopard, two piece with big earrings and all that, I wore a two piece to a pool party. It's not like I wore it with just amongst me and my friends. I'm like, hey guys, like to do a slow reveal. I did it in front of like hundreds of people and nobody cared. Like the guys were like on me and I'm like, oh my God, y'all like, all right, you know? And it was freeing and it felt really good and it felt great. It felt great. And it's just like my insecurity stopped me from traveling for years. I could have had many more traveling experiences with my friends, but I didn't have that because of it. And I was like, I don't want this to happen to me anymore. I don't want to lose another opportunity to really be myself, to really be authentically Erica because of the fact that my insecurities are holding me hostage, you know? And that's not what I want. So I thought about my friend, my cousin, who was telling me about homecoming. And if you guys don't know, homecoming is like an annual tradition to celebrate school pride. And it usually happens in the fall. It's about a week. And there's like football games and the bands and the dancers and the music. And it's like really big, especially with HBCUs. And I have a lot of friends who went to HBCUs and I was invited many times and I didn't go because of my insecurities. And I'm just like, wow, until this day, I still haven't been to a homecoming. The beautiful thing is I can still go. But I didn't have that experience because of that and only that. And only that, you know? And when my cousin mentioned that, I reminisced about it and I was like, wow, like I literally haven't been because of the fact that I was nervous and oh my gosh, the guys and this and that and how am I gonna and it's like it's not even that serious. So I had to ask myself, how many more experiences, right, will be at risk due to my insecurity? How many more? How many more experiences am I going to miss? Opportunities, financially, money, all of that. How many more opportunities am I going to miss because of my insecurity? So during that time, it just really shifted me. Like it really opened me up to life because I'm like, I can't live my life like this. And insecurities can stem from childhood. I definitely had some things happen in childhood with my insecurities. It can stem from our own interpretation of what beauty really is. It can stem from social media. It can stem from a comment somebody made about you years ago. It could stem from being bullied. I mean, we can go on and on as to why you feel insecure, right? Why you feel insecure. But it is so vital to understand it and acknowledge what it is, right? What is the problem? How do you really feel to create some sort of an action plan, or everything that is included in your life will be compromised? I'm a part of a Facebook group that provides advice for women about career, profession, handbags, all of that. Because, these are things that I love naturally. So, of course, I would be a part of that. And somebody asked a question, and the question was, what is your best financial advice? So, people talked about 401k, Roth IRAs, saving, real estate, investing, so many things, right? So I'm going through the comments and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. But there was one thing in particular that really, really stood out to me. And I love this because it's so true. This speaker, her name is, let's see, Danita Chelsea. Her name is Danita Chelsea. And she said, work on whatever bothers you about yourself because when you're more confident, you go after bigger opportunities. That truly is the best advice I've seen in that entire post because there were over 700 replies. And that's what stood out to me the most because she's absolutely right. When you are insecure and your confidence is not there, you're not going to go to any major opportunities because you're scared. And I love that. And I think that insecurity will spew into every area of your life, not just how you feel about yourself, because then you think about how you feel professionally, right? And I believe that fear and anxiety, they love that. Like insecurity, that's like how it gets fed. fear and anxiety. And that's what's going to continue to keep insecurity alive. I remember early in my profession, I was working for this wonderful luxury company and I was a manager, and the CEO wanted to promote me. My direct regional wanted to promote me, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to take the role because I was like, I'm not going to the city. It's too big. It's too this. It's too that. I was so scared. I was so scared. And the my boss at the time was like, no, you're gonna take this opportunity. Like, who's gonna fight to not get paid more, right? But it was because I knew that the expectations of me would be greater and I didn't think I could handle it. I didn't think I was going to be successful. I was nervous that they liked me a little too much and they were expecting too much from me. And I'm like, I can't do it. But I will say, and I really do appreciate, and I love him. Like, we are still close to this day, but my boss at the time, he really saw my efforts. He really saw my work ethic. He really saw me and he was grooming me. And I remember I was sending emails and I feel like he was so tough on me because there were other people that were managers and I feel like he was very light on them. But for me, it's like, Erica, you can't send the email like this. And Erica, you gotta do this. And Erica. And I said to him, do you not like me? Like, why are you always bothering me? Like, why are you always going so hard? Like, having one on one meetings with me, da da da. And it was all because he was grooming me. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. So we had a very deep conversation for like 2 hours of him telling me, like, you can do this. I'm going to support you, whatever you need. Corporate will support you, but I know you can do this. I need you to do this. You're going to be great. Who else is going to do it? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I will say, the beautiful thing about life and the beautiful thing about people and the beautiful thing about just growing and developing and evolving is that people will see you more than you see yourself. They will see you. And I was so appreciative that he did see me. It was very beautiful. It's very beautiful when somebody sees you for who you are and not anything more because no one sees the insecurities but you. No one sees it now. Now, 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 I will say insecurities can be loud. You know, insecurities sometimes, some people you can see it right through them and it definitely can be loud. Okay, that's when it gets deep and that's when it becomes a problem. But it's very beautiful when people really see you because you're you. They see where you're going, they see the opportunities that you're going to excel in, they see all of that because they believe in you. And I had to be extremely encouraged because I really, truly, y'all, did not want to take this role. And I've mentioned this before, but I really did not want to take the role. And I remember when I got to the location, because I was a manager for a luxury company, they wanted to promote me to a district manager. So the city at the time, the city locations at the time were not doing well. And they're like, Erica, you're doing well in this particular region. We need you to come here. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you're going to still keep your original store, but we need you to come here. I remember going to the city store and it was me, the CEO, and my manager. And as soon as I walked in, because he knows how I work, like he's been studying me. So he knows when I walk into a space, I'm really quiet for like a good 3 minutes and I'm analyzing to see what's wrong. So I remember the CEO was trying to ask me a question. My manager goes, no, 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 don't interrupt her. She's processing. Just let her be. Because he knew. So I'm like, why is this here? Why is this there? Why? And he started laughing. He was like, there she goes. There she goes. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Oh, okay. And y'all, finally, I did sign a contract and it did evolve. It did really, really like evolve me higher into my career. And to be honest with you, had I not taken that role, I don't know where my career would have been professionally, to be honest, because like where? But I do appreciate the fact that he fought for me. And you have to think to yourself, how many people are fighting for you? How many people are telling you that you're amazing, that you're smart, that you're beautiful, that you're creative, that you can do this? Yeah, we talk about the haters, we talk about people talking crap about you, da da da. But how many people in your life are really encouraging you? And guess what? If you don't have any, what is God talk like? What is God saying to you? What is God saying to you? I often think about how amazing artists are, right? You think about your favorite musical artist, your favorite actor, actress, your favorite athlete, your favorite whoever, right? Everybody had to take a chance and everybody had an idea. What if they didn't do it because of their insecurities? You don't think actors and actresses and musicians are afraid? People say that all the time. Every time I hit the stage, I'm scared. There's so many things that can go wrong, and then it goes wrong in front of like 80,000 people, right? So I often think about, what if this person decided to give up? What if they were like, forget it? We would never experience their music, their gift, their talents. And I wonder, right? And I was thinking that for myself, and I want you to think about it. How many people are missing out on how amazing you are, the ideas you have, the creative flows that you have, the way you do things? Because the way you do things, nobody else can do it. We all have different gifts, right? I have different gifts than my friend. One of my friends, she can look at you and design a dress. She can look at you and design something. I don't have that talent. God didn't give that to me, nor do I want it. It's not mine, right? And that's the thing. When you're insecure and you don't know yourself, what you're going to try to do is mold yourself to what other people are doing. That's not really yours. And that's why it doesn't last, and that's why it doesn't work, and that's why it doesn't stick, and that's why you're wondering, why is this person successful and I'm not? Because you're too focused trying to be something that's not you. It's just not, right? I want to be Erica. I don't want to be anybody else. I never did. I never felt comfortable with that. you know, I never felt comfortable. And that's the thing. It doesn't feel right because it's not organic. It's not authentic. It's not really you. So you have to ask yourself, right? What what would it look like if I just tried? Y'all, me doing the lifestyle page was an idea. It was a thought. I love lifestyle. As I've mentioned before, I decided to start the page because when I was really depressed, lifestyle videos really helped me. Like watching people, fix their homes and cook and put perfume on. And that really inspired me to want to get into that as well, like for me to actually do it. So that's why I wanted to do it. I'm taking a risk. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I just know that whenever I do post my podcast episodes, like just with the podcast too, I'm trying something. I'm trying. And does it get a little discouraging sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. But what keeps me going is that I release these episodes, and as soon as I release it, someone is listening every single week. Every single time. Somebody's listening. Somebody is diligent. As soon as I post, I have a listener. So I'm really doing this for this person. And I probably wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the support of my friends and family encouraging me. And we need that. We need that encouragement. We need to be vulnerable. We need to be honest with how we feel because nobody sees our insecurities but us. Now, when it gets to a point where it's unhealthy, this is where it becomes a problem. As I've stated earlier, some people, you can see the insecurity through their pores. As they sweat, you're just like, ooh, girl, go listen to a song about loving yourself or something. What's going on? Right. And that's when it becomes deep, and that's when it becomes a problem. And that is where additional assistance like therapy may be needed. Oh, yes. You can't do this by yourself. Let's talk about that. There were many reasons why I wanted to go to therapy, and y'all look out because I am going to release a wonderful episode. I had the opportunity to interview a therapist, and I got some really great goodies for y'all coming up. So please stay tuned to the podcast and the shows. It will be coming up soon. So I am currently in therapy, and I've been in therapy for a couple of years, and there were many reasons why I went to go to therapy. Many reasons. One of them, though, was because I knew that I wasn't healthy emotionally. I remember, as I just shared, right? I'm getting promoted. Work is great. I was working out. I was losing weight. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm traveling. There were so many things that were great. And I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't feel right. I don't feel right. And when I thought about romance, I thought about myself and what I was doing before in the past, and just it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. The way I was acting wasn't healthy because why? I was making decisions based off my insecurities, and I can just that it's just the truth, right? It's just the truth. And I didn't think it was fair to place my burden of insecurities into someone else. It is not their responsibility to fix it. And I think that was the problem. I was looking to be with somebody to validate me all the time. And that's not right. That's not fair. It's too much. And it's annoying, right? This person would always have to feed my insecurity. And that can be exhausting to have someone constantly in a place of high expectation because of how I felt about me. And there's nothing that they could do wrong because once they do something wrong, I'm just insecure and I'm anxious and I'm overthinking and I'm thinking about all these other things. And it's like I'm creating a version of this person that's not even them. And I had to get to a point where when somebody wants you, you're going to know. They're going to act like it. Dating, I don't really care about dating books. I don't really believe in them because I feel like dating is quite simple, right? Communication and physical interaction and interests. That's it. You have to get to know somebody. Relationships are difficult, yes. Dating, I don't think is that difficult when the person is genuinely interested in you, right? When they're genuinely interested in you. So, wanting someone to be everything that I've always wanted caused me to have issues because yeah, I like this person, but I didn't like the fact that they were doing this, this, and this, and this. And I'm trying to change this person because I have a control issue because I'm insecure and I'm anxious. And now there's friction, right? Because you're not doing what I want. And even if you do what I asked for, it's not authentic. So now I'm still annoyed because I want you to do it organically and you're not, but I'm trying to force you to do it inadvertently. Like it was just a very bad cycle. And Iyanla Van Zant said this, and she said, "You don't tell someone exactly how to love you. You see how they love, and you decide if you want to participate." And that is the realest thing I have ever heard. I cannot force you to want me. I cannot do certain things to coerce you to want me. Yeah, I believe that you should tell somebody your non-negotiables or whatever, like how you feel and how you know I do believe that there should be some communication about what you expect from a relationship. What does a wife look like to you? What does a husband look like to you? I believe those conversations are extremely important. Values, how you grew up, how you communicate. I believe in that because for me, I'm not a texter, right? I like to talk on the phone or see you in person or voice notes, but I'm not a texter. So if I meet somebody who's like a straight texter, I'm gonna have to let them know like I'm not a big texter. I'd rather talk to you or physically engage. So there's nothing wrong with sharing information in that regards. That's really important. That's really important. However, why would I force something that isn't truly for me? Why would I do that? Because of my insecurity, because of my control issue, because of my past, because of me just wanting to, you when you want someone to love you, you want love, you accept certain things you shouldn't. You deal with things that you shouldn't. You're constantly arguing. It's always stressful. You're always upset because this person didn't plan a date. This person didn't call you back. This person didn't. And now, as I'm getting older, it's like, girl, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why? Because at this point, when you do have people who are interested, they act in a particular way. And I had the experiences on both ends. I have men who were just lackluster, and I had men who really did show genuine interest. And the reality is, want I really want a healthy relationship. And I did not want my current mindset at the time to affect me from manifesting the right person for me because insecurities will have you choose the wrong house, the wrong partner, the wrong career, and the wrong friends. Your whole life will be like completely messed up because of your inability to really love yourself and understand who you are and what you deserve and when to walk away. Okay? So, being deeply insecure will do all of that. It will do all of that. And I was questioning, can you truly be happy when a decision is based off of being insecure? No, you can't. You can't. Because when you do that, at least from my experiences, joy is not present. Where's the joy? Where's the happiness? It's all temporary. I would never forget, right? I was complaining to this guy, like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. You didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, da 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 da, right? Finally, he did it. He was doing what he had to do. And he did it for like a week. And then after that, he stopped because you know why? It wasn't organic. He never wanted to do it in the first place. So why? So when you start to get older and you're present and you pause and you think, there's so much power, y'all, in being still. There's so much power in being present. There's so much power in engaging in nourishing conversations. And that's why we talked about not to take that call, because we got work to do. There's so much power to talk to somebody who's not going to feed your insecurity and be afraid to tell you the truth. And I'm that friend. I'm that friend. I'm that friend. I'm that cousin. I'm that person. I'm that friend. I will be honest with you. I want you to be honest with me too. Right. And if you don't want the honesty, then talk to somebody else. Like, I'm at that place where it's like, sis, I'm gonna transfer you to technical support. I can't do this right now. Next, you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna sit here and try to feed. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be very honest because I would want you to be honest with me as well. And when you notice certain things of people that you used to do, you're like, oh yes, sis, I kind of did that and it didn't work. You can try it though, because we all have to learn our lessons at our own time. But I'm just telling you straight up, I did it and it didn't work. You have to do the work. Doing your work is necessary. You cannot keep holding on to what happened in the past. What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you? You are living. Life is here. Time is moving. So you're either going to waste your time and stay in it, or you're going to try to do something about it, and something lightly. Really understanding yourself, and not just understanding yourself, but the why. Why do I do what I do? And that is where therapy is connected. This is where therapy, I feel, is such a great help, because it allows you to connect the dots with somebody who's unbiased. It allows you to go deeper. And I know that we don't want to go deep. I know we don't want to think about the past. I know. But it's important, because if we don't correct it, if we don't clean it out, it's only going to get worse. This is where therapy really does a lot, because deep insecurity will affect every aspect of our friendships, romantic relationships, our careers, how you choose to show up in the world, right? And now we have to give ourselves grace, because once we start to understand ourselves and we understand why we do what we do, it is going to hurt. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm not. We're going to talk about therapy in a deeper form, but I always tell people, like, when you decide to go to therapy, please note that it is not going to be happy, happy, joy, joy. The deeper you go, the better it is for you. Therapy is like taking nasty medicine that you know you're going to feel better later, but it's like, oh, this is nasty. Oh, this hurts. Oh, but you feel amazing afterwards, right? So you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace. And this is what I'm working on as well, because we are all a work in progress. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. But as the advice stated, we have to work on ourselves and anything that bothers us, to live authentically and organically, to inhibit and authorize happiness and joy. We have to authorize that. You guys know that, right? We have choices every day. Because if you don't, and you decide to deal with insecurity, you're going to have artificial and temporary happiness. And that's not what life is about. We want to instill happiness and joy. We want that to be an area that is embedded within us at all times, even through difficult moments. And the reason why I wanted to share this story, well, different stories with you guys, was because I thought to myself, right, this could really help somebody else. We don't want the insecurities to get so deep where it interrupts fully how the way you live. And living life luxuriously has many different forms. And this is why I did the podcast, because how do we live our life in a luxurious way? It's not just going on a vacation, coming home like, oh, I feel good. There's so many things we have to do to upkeep this. It's not just a one and done situation. We need to authorize joy and happiness into our lives at all times. We need to understand who we are, and having deep insecurities can really shield that from us. And we don't want that to happen, because we are amazing. We are great. We are learning. We are humans. We make mistakes. But you have to ask yourself, how many more days are we going to waste? How many more years? How many more weeks? Because we refuse to acknowledge the truth. How many decisions can you honestly say right now that are being based off of your insecurity, and the fact that you feel less than, the fact that you're running from a place of lack? How many decisions? I still go through them. We all go through them. But how many decisions are we really facing right now because of that. You can decide today, like, ooh, I don't like the way I feel right now. It's time for me to authorize joy. It's time for me to authorize happiness. It's time for me to be real with myself and understand that this friendship is not serving me anymore. This relationship is not serving me anymore. I don't feel good. This career is not serving me anymore. I can do better. Why have I not asked for a raise? Because being insecure messes up your money. Okay? Because you don't believe you could ask for more money. Why not? Do you know how much money you're putting out on the table because you really just don't want to speak up? No. How many more opportunities are we going to waste? I really want us to live life in a very full way, including myself. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because insecurities, even as you work on them, they will creep up, they come back as we start to grow and change and we just develop in our lives. We're experiencing different things, we're in different spaces, we have different ideas now. So insecurities will happen, right? Even when I was doing the podcast and doing the other page, I definitely had insecurities. Are people going to listen? Are they going to watch? Will it be interesting to them? Because it's interesting to me. I'm excited about it. Will they see the excitement? Will they get it? Like, you have many different concerns. And the reason why I wanted to talk about deep insecurity is because deeply insecure people are dangerous. They should not be leaders. They should be in their own world because they're dangerous people. They hurt people and they don't care because they have to feed their insecurities. It's like whatever I want to do because I got teased as a kid, so I'm going to make sure you suffer. Or I got hurt, so I'm going to make sure you suffer. Or I didn't care about this, I'm going to make sure. And it's sad because then people have to be affected by that. As a leader, me managing over 200 people, I've noticed that leaders who are insecure, they work out of fear. That's never a position I wanted to be in. As a leader, I wanted to encourage and support and still, like, you have to still be a little like business oriented. However, not to the point where people are afraid of you. They respected me. And because of how I treated them and because I was a great listener and because I wanted to work with them, I was able to produce results. And that's why I continue to get promoted in every single role that I've ever been in because I had leaders who were horrific. And instead of being happy that someone that you're managing is doing great, they were jealous because insecurity breeds jealousy. So instead of being happy for your friend for getting the guy, you're wondering why he doesn't want you. Instead of, being excited for someone getting this promotion, you're wondering why it's not you. And that's the thing. We have to remember that God works in mysterious ways. And I have to remember that too. God has his own plan. You could literally give me a blueprint of how something worked for you. And I follow it to the T and it does not work out the same. Not because I did anything wrong, not because I'm being hard headed, but because God is interesting. We can't figure him out. The minute you think you got him figured out, he goes, remix, remix. And it's like, well, Lord, hold on. Wait, Lord, hold on. But I will say, working on your deep insecurities will really, really, really breed wonderful results. Because how you move, how you think, how you act, and who you surround yourself with will be different. You don't see how these celebrities, when they get into some really deep trouble, they have new friends and they're all yes man and blah, blah, blah. And now they're drug addicts and they have all these things going on because they don't have the right people in their lives because these people are just saying yes, yes, yes. Because why? They're on payroll and they're scared to be honest with them. Is that the kind of lifestyle we want? No. So working on your insecurities have so many benefits, more than one, truly. You will see how you move financially. How many financial decisions people make because of insecurities, y'all? Buying things that they can't afford. Credit cards is through the roof because you want to keep up. For people who look at you, give you a compliment and they don't care. Buying a car you can't afford, living in an area that you can't afford, doing all these things, struggling to work. You can't even enjoy your house because you have to work 4 to 5 jobs to support it. For what? For what? For what? Just to have a look? To say, look at me? You know what I mean? Like, why? I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't, I don't know. But we all deal with it. We all go through it. We all, but my point is like having these insecurities will lead you to making decisions that are not really for you and that you're not prepared for. Why are you rushing the process? Why am I going to rush to just be with somebody just because my friends are in relationships? I want somebody who is for me, who loves me organically, authentically, and not because I have to coerce them to want me. You understand? I don't have to like give ultimatums. I don't have to threaten them and say, well, if you don't do this, it's like, oh, really? Because that's what I used to do. Clearly, hello, it doesn't work. When somebody wants you, they want you, period. And if I, and the reason why I was going to therapy too is because I want to be able to articulate my past to the person that is meant for me. While we having these deep conversations, I'm getting to know him, he's getting to know me, and we can really talk about it so he understands if I were to react in a certain way, this is the reasons why. This is the reasons why. Professionally, taking chances, meeting people, having lunches and networking, asking for that raise because you deserve it. Looking at your friendships, encouraging those who are encouraging you, really paying attention to those who really want to see you win. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the people who want to see you do well, your family members, those who are praying for you, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your partner, right? And think about how sometimes how nasty you are because of your insecurity to other people. Because insecure people, they're deeply insecure people. They're very disgusting. It's like, girl, bye next. Like, I'm not dealing with that. So there's so many benefits, y'all, for us to acknowledge it, forgive ourselves, forgive others, slowly work on what's bothering us so that we can go after the bigger opportunities spiritually. We can go after the bigger opportunities emotionally, financially, physically, romantically, all the leads, all the leads, right? Because that's what we deserve. And we're on this journey together because the same way I'm talking to you, y'all, I'm definitely taking this note for myself. And I thought about it and I'm like, this is something I really want to share on the show because I know I'm not the only person who feels like this. Put on that bikini, put it on. And I don't mean that, well, I do mean it physically. If you had a popping ass bikini, why not? But put on that bikini, put on your best self. Be out there, be you, be fun, be free. There's one life. We don't get another one. We don't get a do over. It's just one. Just one. That's it. And when you're on your, deathbed, when it's that time, you want to really think about your life and think, I had a good life. I lived well. I lived well. I traveled. I loved. I forgave. I did things that I've never thought I could do. And I feel great about it. That's the kind of story that I want to have when I think about my personal history book. And that's what I want for you as well. I want us to live life organically, authentically, and I want us to authorize more joy and happiness on a day to day basis. And we're only going to be able to do that when we really, really work truly on ourselves. How do you feel? I hope you feel good. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you really enjoyed this conversation and it made you think about yourself internally in a different way that's going to cause positive action, positive reactions, a positive forgiveness within yourself. I really hope so. But as always, I want to hear your feedback. What did you think about this episode? What stood out to you? What are your thoughts? Do you have any stories you want to share? I want to hear them all. You can go to savethegoodgirl.com and send me a message in the contact section, or you can send me DMs on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Pinterest. You can leave me a comment. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you think because we're all dealing with insecurities. There might be certain things that really worked for you, and I want to hear that because I'm still working on mine myself. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, I do have polls and I do have Q&As. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on there as well. Just communication all around, right? Because this is a show for us. We are all saving the good parts within us, and working on our insecurities is a major key for us to be authentically happy. I love talking to y'all, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode because I did enjoy sharing these stories with you guys. I truly feel that it's going to help someone. I don't know who, but I do believe this will help somebody. I cannot wait to talk to you guys next week. And don't forget to follow Save the Good Girl on IG and social media because y'all, I shared some cute things on there. There's really cute things on there. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.